Hey guys, welcome back. I already recorded this twice. One time I choked on my own spit, and why did I say that? The other time my microphone wasn't plugged into my computer. It thought my headphones were the microphone, and it was all scratchy, and it was not good. So we're doing this again. And today's topic is we're talking about a test that I didn't study for. Let's get into it. So today's class that I went to was cognitive processing, and it's a 1/2 section of 2 parts for the whole class. It's cognitive processing in English and cognitive processing in ASL. It also comes with 2 textbooks. Lucky me. So cognitive processing in English, that might be backwards. I'm not exactly sure how this works yet, so it's backwards for me to read it right now, like looking, but anyway. It says cognitive processing in English, trust me. And then this one is cognitive processing in ASL. So I have 2 sections on 2 different days, 2 hours each, with 2 different teachers. So cognitive processing in ASL is the section of class that's completely in ASL. It's taught by a deaf prof. That's not what I had today. Today I had English, and English is taught by a trained and certified interpreter. She's been interpreting for years. She's great, and we have the whole class in English. So that was what we had today, or we had the test that I didn't study for. Okay, so cognitive processing is basically learning how to interpret, learning the actual efforts and processes that goes into interpreting. And so that just means that you have to learn how to get from point A to point B to point C, because it's not just A to B. It's not that simple. So today we had a test for kind of like a 2-part test for something called an IR and a DR. The IR means immediate repetition, which is signed like this. Immediate repetition. And this is just the same, like you're watching something, you're paying attention to it, you're listening to something. So it's just like you're paying attention and you're copying it. This is the merge of the signed copy and like this. At least that's what I think it is. That would make sense to me. And then also a DR, which is a delayed repetition. So the IR is, like I said, immediate repetition, which means that you listen to something specifically for the English class. You listen to something and then you immediately repeat it. Repetition, you repeat it. Immediately repeat it at the same time as they're saying it. So we use TED Talks. So far we've used TED Talks, and you have to talk while they're talking and listen and talk at the same time. There's at some point your brain just kind of shuts off the part where you're thinking about what you're saying and you just say what you think you're hearing. It's a little bit confusing sometimes. And then the second part is a DR. So we did an IR, and then right immediately after, like maybe 5 minutes, we did a DR of the same thing, the same video. So a DR is a delayed repetition. So basically you just like take a chunk of information, whether it be a sentence or a thought, whatever, and you take it and then you say it instead of just repeating as they're going. So for the test specifically, we listened for about 2 or 3 seconds, depending on how long the thought process was. And then we paused the video, and then we said what we thought that we remembered that we heard, and then we repeated it. Well, we said what we said, and then press play again, do it all over again for the whole video. DRs are less fun because they use up a lot of brain power, and I'm usually so exhausted afterwards. Today, not too bad, probably because I didn't have to do anything before this class. So, yeah. I don't know how I feel about it. I just have to wait for my grades back, I guess, but I'm having concerns about this job, about whether I made the right choice into this program, because right now I'm kind of like worried about whether or not I can actually do this process, because I do struggle so much with both the I and the DR. It is really intense on your brain, and I feel like I'm not doing as well as I possibly should be. And I just feel like, just what if I can't? Like, what if I just can't? I get to a certain point and maybe like I'm wasting my time. I don't want to think that way, but I think it's important to like recognize that I do think that way, and even just like say like, okay, well then just practice more, just make some time and practice. It's a very like very very heavy reading and like material heavy course. You have like the class time where they instruct you and they're like, okay, we told you this, now go and expand your learning some more. So it's very time heavy outside of class. I have about 6 classes technically at the moment, and I still have to do so much homework and stuff outside of that. And then I have work and then just life in general. So it's a lot. It can be a little overwhelming, more than a little bit of the time. But we made it through our first test in cognitive processing. I think. As long as I pass, then technically I can say I made it through. So that's kind of the only update that I have for today. I have to go write a paper for a different class before tomorrow. So I'm going to go. But this is me checking in and just keeping you updated. So if Future Violet is watching this, I hope we're doing better. Yeah, you're going to be okay, because I'll make sure you're okay. But that's it. So have a good day, guys. Bye.